I really hope I'm actually showing correctly and my hair is fine. This is the third one in 2 months. At this point, as if is bulalwa ndim. Ndiyintanga ye-cactus. It's really funny because, like, when it comes to flowers, when I receive flowers or and I buy myself flowers, they last nearly a month. Plants, not so much. It actually is a bit sad because, like, my granny was really good in with plants, and like Ekaya, like a Monty, there would be all sorts of plants, your ferns, your whatever, all of them. And she was literally so great. She would also like take some of the leaves and like would give other people as like gifts. She was so good. But it's also very symbolic of what we're going to speak about, because like my granny never gave me that skill. She never thought it is actually a very important thing to actually teach me how to cultivate and actually make sure plants grow indoors like she did. She didn't find it very necessary, and this is me, even though she was so great and we had so many plants at home, but this is me within a week of having this plant. This plant is really hilarious for actually being so dramatic, because it wasn't even a week and it literally withered. You hear me? When I got this plant, I named it. I gave it words of affirmation. I wanted to do something different. Looks like it was words of death declaration. Did not take that kindly at all. Like literally on the third day, I was like, this is not looking good. And like I've already like researched how to actually take care of this plant. It told me to not actually overwater it. I was like, maybe it needs water. Things got worse. Anywho's, but like it's symbolic because what I will be speaking about, loss of language due to colonialism and capitalism, right? But as you can see, the title of the video is Harry Potter and the Dishonesty of the Middle Class. There you have it. We have yet another video. It's your fave discourse diva, Asemahle, right in front of your cam, and we're about to be getting deep into it. Deep into it. So of course, we're carrying on with the language chat, because as I was thinking further into it, I realized there's literally so much angles. So much angles, and some of the things that we've been overlooking are definitely a derivative of us actually not thinking that our own home languages are important, and it's something that we should teach our kids so that they also teach their kids, and we can have continuation of our culture and our languages. Before we get into it, gotta drink a drink. As per usual, on my TikTok, I did mention that Americans, right, especially Black Americans, because they don't want to be referred to as African American because they're not African. Black Americans, in order for them to be where they are at the moment, after Europeans basically inhaled, the natives of America, they want to go and fetch them from Central to West Africa, fetch slaves, right? Because they've already drafted what slavery will look like and what they want America to be like, and they knew that they're not going to build it, right? Cool. They got the slaves, they came back. One of the first things that they did is they mixed the slaves from different countries so that they don't continue with their indigenous language. This they know, so that they know what their plans are if they're planning of escaping, and they can be in the know for whatever they're speaking about, because they'll be speaking in English to converse with each other. And now it will also be basically the murder of their home language, which is their indigenous language. So as we have seen, and we've always seen, the killing of your home language will always be a white supremacist tool. There's no other ways about it. So if you are also for your language not being continued, that means you are for white supremacy, which is really funny because you are Black and it is not a system that has ever been for you. It's not a system that's been for you ever. It's literally a system that has robbed you of so many things. So it's not something that you should ever go back to and actually reference or actually mimic. Right? Sure. So now what do we see? We see Americans. This week, Americans say that they're the Black Israelites, right? Next week, the Black Hebrews. They're the original Hebrews. They are the original Moors. They're the original we was kings, And if it wasn't so sad, it would be hilarious. But this is you not teaching your children is the fast way of actually getting there. And I know it seems so far up until it isn't. There is a granny that was paraded not so long ago, which was the only person that is left that can speak Khoi, which I found very irresponsible because you are an old woman. Why haven't you taught your grandkids this? Why haven't you taught your own kids? Why are you the only one that can? You're telling me even your immediate family cannot speak this language? And you are the indigenous people of this land? Why? Why? Why are you in the news for such a thing that is actually disastrous when you actually think about it? Because when you die, that's it. There won't even be a trace that there was such a language. Whenever there's no trace of such a thing, we have seen what white supremacists do. We have seen it. If we did not have archives and if we were not here actually speaking isiXhosa and actually speaking natives and actually having reference of, native units, native bathrooms, they would say that we were not natives. They are trying to actually control that narrative right now and saying that we're from Congo or whatever the case is. Why would you want to aid on that? When you actually really think about it, why would you want to aid on that? Except for you actually really, really hating your blackness. Right? And all of this is so dishonest because a lot of people will be on my videos. Oh, you're just mad because you couldn't afford it. You could literally hear my accent code switching. You know for a fact that someone that speaks like this went to former Model C schools as well. They can afford it. But here I am still speaking for people to actually speak their home languages. Another thing that I actually noticed, also, if you went to Model C schools, you'll know that a lot of white people hated it when we spoke our language, right? And they would call it that language. Meanwhile, they are speaking their home languages. They're speaking English and Afrikaans, which is their home language. But our home language was a bad thing, which on its own will literally tell you the amount of things they went through to actually make sure that we erase our identity so that they can tell us who we are, when in actual fact it's not the truth, right? And also another thing that I noticed is there are 4 kids that I know that have middle names of English middle names, which at first I was like, why does this child have an English middle name? And then it's gonna be no, we named her after Makulu Don. We want to, Makulu Asweleka and whatever. I get it. But the thing is, all African grandparents, even though they had English names, most of them had indigenous names as well. So they'll have their Xhosa name, their English name, and their surname. So if you really wanted to continue the legacy of Granny, why didn't you take the indigenous name? Why did you rush to the English name? And it's really so sad because our parents naming us these African names and only these African names was a form of resistance as well, especially after 1994, because there was more chances of you actually being what you actually want to be. Because remember, back in the day during apartheid, career path yomntomnyama was either being a gardener or being a maid. So in order for you to be that and to actually make it easy for the white person, you had to be named an English name. So English names were not really something that our parents or our grandparents' parents wanted to. It was something that to have. It was something that had to be there because you're either going to be working in a factory or you're going to work as a maid or a gardener. Regardless of whichever path you take, you're going to be under a white person and you need to make it easy for the white person. Thus, you need to have an English name. So us actually having African names and African names only was a form of resistance. We are free. Our children don't have to go through what we went through. My child can just be Asemahle and can be Asemahle only. That's Asemahle Emily and my surname. We have gone back to our granny ages. And you guys don't find that suspicious. And you don't find that suspicious. And now that I notice that, I realize that a lot of black young kids have English names too. Their parents are probably Christian as well, which I speak about religion a lot. And guys, before we know it, we will also be reducing our culture to gold teeth. I swear. I know it sounds like, oh, it literally just takes 2 generations of not speaking your language and that's it. That's it. I saw a video on TikTok, someone tagged me, and this guy is Igbo, right? And says to his dad, speak your language. I hope he's ashamed. I hope he's ashamed wherever he literally says, Dad, speak your language. Okay? Guys, I'm not sure, man. Like, I've also even referenced, especially when it comes to culture. When it comes to culture, even if you don't acknowledge your ancestors, if you're Xhosa, we all know if you've given birth to a boy, you have to actually take them to the mountain. You have to, right? They have to speak isiXhosa there. They have to speak to isiXhosa. And the thing is, these kids are now at that point where they're like, oh my gosh, I can't relate to other black people. They like make fun of me because like I can't speak my language. They're gonna find another Hong person, and they're gonna make a family of like raccoons, and that's it. That's the death of your language right there, because they are not gonna speak a language they don't know. They're not gonna teach their kids a language they don't know. They're not gonna teach their kids a language or a culture they don't know either. So what does that mean? That's it. On the second generation, it's gone. It's absolutely gone. It's just a whole whataboutism. So guys, please, let's do right by our kids. Let's if you maybe they're like literally at 7, 8, do right. Please try your best to actually do right. So that is the end of the episode for today. We will be meeting again next week on Sunday with, okay, let me actually not, because I already have the topic for next week already. But let me actually not, we will be meeting next week Sunday.